Hey, you guys, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Like always, I'm so excited that you are here, but I have to be completely honest with you. I am feeling so frustrated with myself right now because I'm about to record a podcast episode for you all about perfectionism and how we can turn perfectionism into leverage inside your business. And this is literally like my fifth take trying to record this. I'm trying to make it perfect. And I got so frustrated with myself and I was like, look, you know what? We're just going to go for this. We're going to record it. It might be imperfect. I'm going to use what I teach you inside this episode. And I also realized too, you guys, the perfection part, like why does it show up? How does it show up? It shows up because we care. Okay. It just shows how much we freaking care about things. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. The bad part of this is when it's really starting to slow you down or preventing us from moving forward with something that's going to impact other people's lives. So I'm just going to go for this. This is like take 6 or something. You're just going to have to bear with me if it is imperfect, if it is sloppy, if I fumble my words. And the reason that I feel so passionate about this particular episode is because this episode feels like it's been a long time coming for me. And I'm really excited to share this episode with you. This is like going to be 6 and done, 1 and done, right? I'm so excited to share. This is going to be part 1 of a 3-part series because what happened is for a while now, I have known that the work that I've been doing inside all of my coaching containers with my clients has truly been a game changer, okay? It is changing the way that my clients run their businesses, and in turn, that is changing the way that they get to live their lives and show up for their families every day. And essentially what they're doing is they're being able to live life on purpose. And you guys know that that is literally what I am all about. All I want is for any woman who wants to live life in a certain way, whatever that looks like, whether it's real fancy or whether it's just being able to pick your kids up from school. I want them to have that. And that's exactly why I do what I do now in coaching. And so what has happened over the past 2.5 years of me running my business, I have clients who are now making more money than they ever have made in their businesses, setting boundaries around when to work and how they show up inside their business so it feels really good. They are signing clients left and right into long-term, year-long, high-ticket packages, and they're leaving their quote-unquote real jobs. I had a client this last year resign from her teaching job. Like, incredible, the opportunities that are being created because of the work that we're doing. And all of these things that they're doing in business are allowing them the freedom to make choices in their lives based on what they want and based on what their dream day would look like. Okay, so I'm talking things like working from home in your sweatpants. If that is your dream, amazing. That was my initial dream as well. I just wanted to be able to pick up my kids from school, being able to go to the gym in the middle of the day, closing their computers at 3 p.m. and saying, okay, I'm done for the day. What I did is enough. Now it is time to focus on my family. Like I said, putting in resignation letters and going on vacation for an entire month in Europe and leaving her work at home. It has truly been incredible to watch and to be a part of. And up until now, I haven't been able to really truly describe what it is that we're doing and how I do this with my clients until now. I've literally spent the past 3 months really digging into the method that I've fine-tuned inside all of my coaching containers, whether it's a 1-day container or a year-long container, and why this method is so damn life-changing. So today, I finally have a way to describe this to you now. I feel like I'm birthing my 4th child. I have 2 boys, and then my business is my 3rd child, and this method is now my my fourth child. And I'm excited to share it with you. And I'm excited to introduce you to my signature momentum method. Now, this episode is going to be part one in a 3-part series where I'm going to walk you through this method, and I'm going to share with you how these 3 things inside this method are literally going to change your business and change your life as a byproduct in the best way possible. So really, this just means a lot to me. I feel, again, like I'm birthing this into the world. So I'm excited to get into this. It is not going to be perfect. And I know you're going to love this. I know that you're not going to care. And we're going to get this out into the world so we can turn your perfection into power in your business. So let's get into this. Hey there, and welcome to the Life and Business on Purpose podcast, where purpose meets profit and mindset meets strategy. I'm your host, Sandy Patterson, former kindergarten teacher turned online business coach, mom of 2 really cool boys, and the creator of the Momentum Method. Through this 3-phase method over the past 2.5 years, I have helped dozens of women build values-aligned, profitable businesses without working 40+ hours a week, so they get to enjoy their business and live their lives on purpose. Around here, we do business differently because we believe success isn't about hustling to prove ourselves. We don't believe in rigid formulas or chasing someone else's version of success. It's about channeling perfection into power, moving with unstoppable trust in life and business, and leading with strategy that actually fits your life. Let's build your life and business on purpose together, one episode at a time. Here we go. What if I told you that perfectionism, so this shows up as overthinking, second guessing, stalling out a ton until things are ready in your online coaching business, is not actually a problem. It's how you're using that perfectionism that is keeping you stuck. I'm Sandy Patterson, former teacher turned online business coach for women who are ready to lead themselves and build businesses that support their life, not the other way around. I work with recovering perfectionists and people pleasers to help them unhook from the pressure to get it exactly right and instead grow with aligned strategy, mindset that builds true self-trust and leadership rooted in who they are. Because building a business, you guys, should be the thing that helps you live life on purpose, not the thing that takes it over and consumes you. And before we get into it, if you already know that your perfectionist tendencies and people pleasing is slowing you down and that you could move a lot faster if it were not for these things, and you want to learn how to build a business that feels like you, that feels really good to show up for every day, you have 2 options. You can book an absolutely free, no pressure growth gap audit call. On this call, we're going to take a look at your current business structure, identify where your gaps are, and I'm going to show you how to close those gaps so you can get better results with less effort by working smarter and focusing your time on what actually moves the needle forward. The link for that is in the show notes for you. Or if you've been around the block and you know who I am, you know what I'm about, and you're like, okay, I'm freaking ready, Sandy. You can apply for my mastermind space or for private coaching. The link for that is also in the show notes. Now, today I'm breaking down one of the pillars inside of my signature momentum method. This is my signature method that I use with all of my clients in all of my work, all of my offers, where we turn perfectionism into power, build unshakable self-trust, and create sustainable strategies that actually support your life. So basically, we're building a business that feels like you, is booked out, making the income and the impact you know you're meant to make, and that actually feels fun to run and show up for every day. It sounds good, right? So let's get into this, because if you are a perfectionist who's felt overwhelmed by a ton of different business advice coming at you from all different directions, or if you find yourself spinning in indecision, or feeling like you're just like ready to go balls to the wall, but you're not sure how to move with this really deep need to do things right and to show up perfectly, this episode is absolutely for you. Because here's the deal. Most women in the online coaching space think that their type A, high-performing, people-pleasing perfectionism is a flaw that they have to overcome before they can be successful, and that they have to change it or get rid of it, and they view it as a bad thing. So what happens is so many of us try to mask it or hide it or just power through, just keep moving through. But the truth is, perfectionism is not actually inherently bad. It just means that you care deeply about what it is that you're doing and you have high standards, right? You want things done well. And if you're anything like me, you have probably thought at some point, if I want this done right, I'm just going to have to do it myself. Like, just step aside, I'll do it. I'll take care of it. But in business, what is sabotaging your growth is when that perfectionism turns into paralysis and the inability to move forward with ideas or projects or things you know you want to do. Procrastination, so putting things off, letting other things kind of take over your focus and your time. Or people pleasing, right? It's when we get stuck in business and we stop moving and we wait for things to feel ready, or we mold what we're doing or our strategy or ourselves or our business itself to make other people happy or to like us. So I'm going to share with you how this shows up. So instead of trying to eliminate the perfectionism, we have to learn how to leverage it, okay? How to use it to our advantage. And this means channeling those high standards into intentional strategy, okay? To make aligned decisions and to take focused action that feels safe. I call this pillar inside the momentum method, perfection to power. And it is the first pillar inside my method. And it works because where most strategies focus on just fixing perfection, so just pretending like it's not there or just power through, which only leaves us feeling really frustrated, we instead turn that perfectionism into a superpower and use it to your advantage to shift out of this belief that you need to do more or be more or produce more in order to succeed inside your business. And we move into a grounded rhythm where you trust your ideas, you trust your strategy, you trust that you know what to do next, and you start working smarter, not harder, and show up before you feel 1,000% ready, okay? I'm going to break down the formula behind perfection to power. And the first part of this pillar is that we unhook from performative productivity. So like I mentioned, perfectionism becomes a problem when your worth is tied to your output. And most of the women that I work with, especially my current and former teachers and my high performing clients, have internalized the belief that busyness equals value. So measuring their worth by how much they get done. And this looks like to-do lists that are like a mile long that are never going to end, never ever feeling satisfied with what you've accomplished at the end of the day, and constantly moving the goalpost. So like it's never ever good enough. You're constantly moving it. And the result of that is overcommitment, saying yes to too many things, burnout, feeling like shit, and constant guilt when you try to rest. Does this sound familiar to anybody? Okay, me too. Unhooking from performative productivity means rewiring the belief that rest equals laziness. Okay, I know that you know consciously in your logical mind that if you're resting, that doesn't mean that you're lazy, okay? Unhooking from performative productivity is truly about rewiring that belief inside your subconscious mind to understand that rest is necessary and it is actually part of the work. I have so many clients that struggle with this because it feels like we should always be doing more. The more I can accomplish, the more. But really, the rest is where we get creative. When we're in that flow state, we have ideas and things feel really good. So unhooking from performative productivity looks like breaking the cycle of proving yourself via productivity and how much you can create. This is understanding that the more I produce, so the more you create, the more you post on social media, the more clients you have, more, the more you produce, all of the more things. It does not make you a better coach. It does not make you a better business owner. It does not get you better results. It does not make you more money, okay? We're gonna actually talk about how it's the opposite of that in just a bit. But if you think about it like this, if you turn the radio on and it's just static, so like static noise, when you turn the volume up on the radio, it doesn't mean better music, right? It just means louder, more static. So it's the same thing in business. The more you do doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the result that you want. It's just going to be overwhelming and it's going to cause burnout. And finally, unhooking from this performative productivity is really learning to discern between what is urgent and what is not. And I know that everything inside your business can feel urgent, especially in the beginning. It's like, oh my gosh, I have so many things that I need to be doing or that I should be doing. How am I going to fit all this in? And then again, we start to feel your blood pressure rise. We start to feel overwhelmed. We start to feel like I'm never going to be able to catch up. So why even try? And that it's unhooking from that idea and realizing that I just need to focus on the right things, the things that are going to work for me inside my business, and what do I want to create here. So some actual examples of what unhooking from performative productivity looks like. It is no more 12-hour Canva sessions where you're tweaking and overthinking and blah, blah, blah. It's no more re-recording a reel or a podcast episode 6+ times like I'm doing right now. It's no more of that, okay? No more of that. We are just moving and we're creating the safety in our brain, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute, for us to move and for it to feel safe to move imperfectly, essentially. Now, it looks like creating space in your week, not necessarily to do more. Okay, not to fill your calendar up more, but to actually decide better and give yourself space and time to make decisions based on what feels good to you, not jam-packing your schedule. And my clients have a really hard time with this too, creating white space in their day to make decisions, because what's happening now is that we are jam-packing the schedule. Anytime anybody asks us for anything, the answer is yes, because there's space on the calendar, and sometimes they're not, and we say yes anyways, because we're tying our value to our productivity. And what ends up happening is that you feel exhausted by the end of the day, because this is not why you started your business in the first place. I guarantee you did not start your business to be like, I cannot wait to feel overwhelmed and to have not 1 second to myself during the day. You're doing it for the opposite. You're doing it for the freedom that your business can give you. But it's flipping this on its head, this idea that feels counterintuitive, that the more I do, the better results I'm going to get. It's not true. It looks like letting go of busy work and embracing revenue generating activities, you guys, in your business every day, and really understanding that where you focus your time determines how fast that needle is going to move inside your business growth. This is why we have people that we see that like are able to just move, like they say like, oh my gosh, my business, blew up in 6 months. And it's also why we see people who have said, I've been in business for 6 years and I'm still not seeing the results that I get. It's because of what you are focusing on and where your time is actually going. So it's understanding, we're going to get rid of all the busy work, all the things that you think you're doing, all of the productive procrastination things that you're doing that you think are going to move you forward. And we pare it way, way down to just things that are going to generate revenue in your business. And this is really where the momentum method overall meets nervous system regulation, because your business cannot thrive if you are always in overdrive, right? If you are always chasing and constantly feeling like you're on the hamster wheel and you're constantly trying to stay caught up and constantly trying to get caught up, and because things feel like they're constantly piling up, your business cannot grow. It simply cannot grow, and it cannot thrive from that energy. And it's just going to take a lot longer than it would otherwise when we can unhook from performative productivity, right? Just doing things because we think that's what we're supposed to be doing. Busy is supposed to equal results, right? Right? Now, the second core concept inside Perfection to Power is creating safety inside your brain for messy action, specifically inside the perfectionist brain that thinks things need to be perfect or else we're gonna die, right? So women who identify as perfectionists do not procrastinate because they are lazy. I know that, okay? We're just scared of doing it wrong. And you will never hear me tell you to just like start before you're ready or just do it like Nike, right? Because I understand that that advice is not going to land with women who live in this loop of questioning themselves and second guessing and playing worst case scenario in every single little tiny decision inside their business. And while yes, you hear me say it all the time, I absolutely believe in messy action. I talk about messy action all the time because the action is what creates clarity. What you actually need is a sense of mental and emotional and strategic safety so that you can take consistent action over time without spiraling or overthinking or working yourself up every single time you need to do one little thing inside your business or make a decision inside your business. Because while, yeah, like the just do it advice, like just go, just do it, just power through, that'll get you through the first time, right? Okay, it might even get you through the second time and even the third time, but that is not sustainable and it's not a way that we want to be showing up inside business forever, right? So when you look at that version of yourself that's running your business years and years down the line, you can't sustainably feel like that all the time, like you're in overload and overdrive all the time. It's just not possible, okay? And it's not sustainable. So what exactly does creating safety for messy action actually look like in your business, right? Well, it looks like a very clear and simplified strategic roadmap that includes your revenue generating activities. So it is knowing with so much clarity that these things are the things that I need to focus on to create revenue every day. So these are my non-negotiables. This is when I'm sitting down to work my business. And I work with a lot of clients who are working full-time jobs and transitioning into being in business. So you have a very limited amount of time. Everybody has a limited amount of time, okay? It doesn't matter if you're working 2 jobs or working your business full-time. Everybody has a limited amount of time. So it's getting clear on when I do have that time, what exactly am I doing? It needs to be crystal clear on what you're doing daily, on what you're doing weekly, monthly, quarterly, all of those things to move you towards your income goals and your impact goals as well. And then, okay, you guys, this is not a 20-step process or like this whole big decision tree that you got to figure out, what am I doing? That's just going to give you a headache when you look at it, right? It is very straightforward and very simple and strategic based on what is going to move the needle forward for you and make you money and make the impact that you know you're meant to make based on where you are right now in your business. This is going to look different for different people, obviously, because no 2 women are the same, no 2 businesses are the same either, right? Now, creating safety for messy action also looks like clear, aligned benchmarks. Okay, so we're not constantly moving the goalpost. So if you've ever set a goal and then you achieve that goal and then if you're like me, you don't even like stop to be like, oh wow, look what I did, or like even take a breath or just celebrate that you made it to that spot and like celebrate it essentially to build confidence. You're just like, what's next? What do I do next? What do I do? Okay, that was no big deal. What's the bigger, better next thing, right? Let's keep going. Again, that's not very fun and it's also not sustainable, right? It's actually very exhausting to constantly be moving the goalpost. And I even see this on a daily basis with some of my clients where they go, okay, well, I finished my to-do list for today. Like I have my big 5, I did my list, I did my 3 most important tasks today, and now I have this time. So like, what should I be doing next? What do I do now? What should I add? I'm like, girl, take a second. Take a breath. Let's celebrate that you completed the 3 things that you set out to do today. And then what would feel good to you? Not laundry, not chores. Like, what would feel good? If nobody was relying on you or you didn't have to do anything right now, what would you choose to do? It's taking those moments that is going to allow the business to be sustainable and to allow you to keep going. And this also looks like making values aligned decisions. So not perfect, not right decisions that are actually aligned with what you value in your life and your business. And I will bet that your business values and your personal values are probably very closely aligned. So it's not just piling more things on our plates because we saw something or we saw a course or we saw a strategy that somebody else did on Instagram and doing more things. It's about actually creating space to decide, is this something that I actually want to do? Is this something that actually feels good and exciting and fun to me? Is this going to work with my bigger picture? Is it aligned with what I essentially want when I look at the version of me that's running my business 10 years down the line? Is this something that I'm doing? Is this something that I even want to do? Like, I dare you, spend the day just saying, is this something that I want to do? Like, you will be in shock at the amount of things that you do that you're like, I don't even want to be doing this. I don't even want to be having this conversation. I don't even want to be doing this thing, but I'm doing it because of this perfection piece. And if I take that off my plate, if I give myself safety and permission to take these things off of my plate and focus on the things that, number one, feel good, and number two, are going to move the needle forward, it's a game changer, you guys. Because when your brain feels safe, this is when you get really creative, when you feel in that flow, when you have new ideas, when you get really motivated and excited for new things that are coming up inside your business. And this is when your energy also becomes much, much more focused. And that's really the best space to be running your business from. And the perfectionism here actually starts to serve you instead of slowing you down because you can leverage it. Okay. Now, the third core concept inside Perfection to Power is redefining right as aligned. Okay. So think about that. It's not about being right or the right decision or making the correct choice. It is about making an aligned decision. And I have had so many clients who want to figure out like what's the right choice or the right decision because they don't want to make the wrong choice, right? That's like terrifying to our perfectionist brain. But sometimes we become so paralyzed by trying to get it right by someone else's standards. Okay? We think that like these things like a perfect caption or the right hashtags or the right website or the polished done, funnel or this script, whatever it is. But we think when we have that quote unquote right, that's going to be the key that unlocks this like booming business. And that is not the case. What you really need is a permission slip to redefine what right even means to you by getting clear on what's aligned for you. So what this looks like is it's creating and these are just a couple little examples, but it's like creating offers that match your strengths and your zone of genius and your vision and what feels really fun to you to deliver. Not just what is like trending or what you think people will buy or what you think people want. We're not doing that. It's creating a content strategy that you can actually sustain without dreading it or feeling like you're going to shit your pants every time you go to show up on social media in your marketing strategy, right? Or thinking like, what am I supposed to post today? Like this is so all that head drama. So it's a strategy that you can easily follow and your brain can also easily follow and feel safe inside. And it's leading in a way that really honors your energy, not this one size fits all rule that we see on Instagram all the time. So it's looking at your cycle, your energy, what times of the day you feel the most creative, what times of the day you feel like your battery is on low and you need to recharge. It's looking at all of these things. And essentially what ends up happening here is right becomes relative to your vision and what's important to you and what your desired life is on your own terms, what your dream life looks like. This is how you build a business that actually supports your life instead of taking over your life and your brain. Now, the fourth concept behind perfection to power is shifting from proving to leading. Okay, so this is a big one. Perfectionism often keeps women really stuck in this, I have to earn the right to take up space. So let that sink in for just a second. I have to earn the right to take up space. So we think that we need more time or more credentials or more experience or more clients or more results. But I'm here to tell you that right now, in this very moment that you are listening or watching this episode, you are already capable, and what you need to do is trust yourself enough to lead. It's not about proving anything. It's not about performing. It's not about convincing anybody of anything. It's about you leaning in to trust yourself enough and to know that right now, you are exactly what your people need. Now, this concept is the bridge into the second pillar inside the momentum method, and we're going to talk more about that on the next episode, but it really starts here. It's where we stop overcompensating and start embodying. Okay, so when we do this, when we start to shift from proving ourselves to really just leading with what we have and what we know in that moment, things start to happen a lot quicker and a lot smoother in your business because you're not stuck in the spiral anymore. You just are anchored into your own value and what you bring to the table, and you know for certain that you are exactly what your clients need. You are exactly, you don't need another course, you don't need another, credential, you don't need more time. It's right now. And what starts to happen is you start to post on social media, or you start to launch offers or launch things into the world or invite people into an offer before the offer feels perfect or ready. And you sell things before it feels fully built. You move with confidence because it's whatever it is exactly what it is supposed to be. And we turn this perfection, this need, because it doesn't need to be perfect, but I know with my high standards, it's going to be spot on and it's going to be amazing. And what happens is you start to lead your audience with confidence without waiting to feel all the way ready or without needing more external validation to be ready to move. Now, the last core concept inside perfection to power, and this is one of my favorite ones, is building flexible structures, not rigid systems that we think that we have to have inside our businesses. Because the perfectionist brain thrives in structure, but it suffocates in rigidity. So when things are like, you have to do it this way, it has to be exactly this way, it's like we cannot move, right? So we need some structure, but we need enough flexibility inside the structure that we can still kind of have some wiggle room, right? Because what happens is the rigidity turns into this insane pressure that we are putting on ourselves, right? This pressure that we have to get it right, that it has to be perfect, that we should be farther along. All of this pressure, I should. And that is exactly where the overthinking and the spiraling starts to come into the group chat, okay? So instead of telling you just be more intuitive or just show up, the perfectionist brain actually has to have a container that makes sense. So your brain is able to do this. So an example of this, I'm going to give you a quick example, is in a content system. This is something that a lot of my clients, they grapple with it, and social media, content marketing, all of that is a love-hate relationship. And so you'll hear this, and this is why you've downloaded probably a ton of different like content calendars or templates or whatever they are, and you haven't been able to stick to any of them. It's because there's no flexibility within those. So what we do is we come up with your pillars, right? So these are the things that are going to anchor and guide you inside your content. So you're talking about these things under your brand umbrella. So you have your pillars, and then we talk about different content types. So content types that you can rotate through. Maybe there's authority content, maybe there's social proof, engagement content, belief shifting content, sales content, different content that you can rotate through. And it's not about saying, okay, you're posting 5 days a week at 3 p.m. every day. Instead, you're using these pillars and you're using these different types of content to rotate through, and then you create a flow to follow that feels manageable and doable with the season of life that you are in. So it's not about posting 5 times a week at 3 p.m. every day. It's saying, okay, my goal is to post 4 times a week. If I hit 3, then I'm going to call that a success. And that can happen anytime throughout the week. When I get inspiration, I can batch this out if that feels good for me. If you're a batcher, that's great. If not, that's great too. And this flexible structure works because you have predictable inputs, and there's built-in flexibility. So you can kind of mix and match without breaking the whole entire system, and you're not reinventing yourself every time, which is exhausting. And that's, again, where the spiraling and the overthinking and the questioning comes in. And it also includes boundaries here in the goal that protects your energy. So you're not working reactively anymore. Okay. So if you've ever defaulted to oh yeah, I could just squeeze that in, or I'll answer that email really quick. Boundaries in this sense are not about restricting you, right? They're about really protecting your capacity so you can show up really powerfully and really intentionally in your business, in your life, in all areas that you're showing up in. So this is where the strategy becomes supportive and not performative anymore. It's not about more rules. It's about creating a rhythm so your business flows and continues to grow sustainably. And it's turning this pillar, this perfection to power pillar, says that your high standards are allowed, but we are going to put them to work in a way that's going to build you momentum. So it's taking those high standards, taking that need for things to be really, really great. And it means that my brand is going to be very cohesive because of that eye for detail. It means that my clients are going to have a really great experience because I care so deeply about that experience, but I'm not allowing it to slow me down anymore. I'm using it as leverage to keep moving forward and to build this momentum inside my business. Now, this is the first pillar inside my 3-step method, the momentum method, which is the key to building a business that is rooted in self-trust, led by strategy that feels aligned to you, and it's designed to grow without sacrificing your sanity, your values, or your actual life, right? This method helps recovering perfectionists and people pleasers unhook from the hustle, rewire how they operate, and finally lead their business from a place of clarity, conviction, and personal power, which is a really good way to move in your business. I know from experience, I've been on both sides of this, and I've seen the shifts in my clients who start to implement this pillar, because feeling confident as a business owner isn't just about silencing your inner perfectionist or pretending you don't care about doing things well. You care deeply, and that's part of why you are you, and it's part of why you are so special. But it's really about channeling those high standards strategically so that they're serving your growth instead of stalling it. So we unhook from the pressure to prove, perform, or over-deliver, and instead we use that drive to create focused offers, really clean, quick decisions, and a business that actually supports your life. Now, this pillar alone has allowed my clients to tell me things like, oh my gosh, Sandy, my husband, I know you've never met my husband, but he's very impressed because he said, I've never seen you bring in so much money inside your business as you have since you started working with Sandy. He's really, really impressed because she was able to start showing up in a very different way than she was before. She was moving quicker, making quicker decisions, creating offers, and selling those offers without second guessing every little thing, right? Now, the second step inside the momentum method is creating unstoppable trust, but it's not just any trust, because the key to having a booked out business isn't about the number of clients you have. It's actually about identifying the gap between where you are now and where you want to be, and aligning your habits, your focus, your strategy with the version of you who's already fully booked out, right? So inside the unstoppable trust system, we pinpoint the misalignment. So we look at 14 different markers inside your business, and we look at the misalignment between your current approach and where you envision yourself going inside your business. And those markers are things like price point, money mindset, offer suite, there's 14 different markers that we look at. And then what we do is step by step, we upgrade how you show up and how you move without dysregulating your nervous system. So your business can catch up to that identity and the income that you're actually ready for. Now, the third and final piece to building a sustainable long-term business is not about hitting one high cash month or making money once. I have clients come to me all the time and say, Sandy, how many clients do I need before I can go full-time in my business? Or how much money do I need to have saved up before I can leave my 9-to-5? It is not about that. It is about having a content, marketing, and sales strategy that aligns with your values, fits your life, and supports the people and priorities that matter the most to you. Because true sustainability comes from building a system that's fully aligned with your values, your voice, your vision. So it's not just that you're running a successful business, but one that feels like you, creates meaningful impact, and gives you both financial and time freedom. So you're excited to show up for your business and your clients every day. Okay, this momentum method has been transformative, and it's been the key to unlocking my clients' businesses and their lives, and has them going from saying, Sandy, oh my gosh, I'm doing so much and nothing seems to be working, to sending me screenshot after screenshot of wins, wins, wins. Okay. So if you're ready to see how we can apply this to your business, you have two options. You can book your absolutely free, no pressure growth gap audit call, and the link for that is in the show notes. Or if you know you're ready to go all in, you've been around the block and you know what I'm all about, you can apply for either the mastermind or one-to-one coaching. The link for those is in the show notes as well. Now, this was just part one of a 3-part series. Next time, I'm going to be going over the next 2 core concepts inside the momentum method, and they are so good. So hit that follow button so you do not miss anything. And if this episode hit home, please consider leaving a review, hitting those stars, it takes 2 seconds, and sending this to your biz bestie who is also stuck in those damn perfectionist people-pleasing loops and who is ready to move quicker. I love you guys, and I will see you next time. Mwah. If you are sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, this episode was made for me, you have 2 options. You can book your absolutely free, no pressure growth gap audit call. On this call, we'll take a look at your current life and business structure, identify where your gaps are, and show you how to close those gaps so you can get better results with less effort by working smarter and focusing your time on what actually moves the needle forward. The link is in the show notes for you. Or if you're ready to go from one-off wins to repeatable revenue with structure, strategy, and sales that support your life and keep dream clients coming back and your calendar full without burning out, you can apply to work together by clicking the link in the show notes. Make sure you hit that follow button so you don't miss any new episodes. And if this episode hits home, please consider leaving a review, hitting those stars, and sending it to your biz bestie who's also ready to build a life and business on purpose. I'll see you next time.